Boy got the notch. You say you quit drinking?
Yeah, I had to quit drinking, man. But it's all good. It's for the better. I'm a lot sharper now.
Yeah. Bro, you know what's crazy? I really used to we used to get like belligerent like every weekend for like years. I'm talking about for like 5-6 years. And I just had to, we got old, I feel like.
Yeah,
I still have like a few drinks, but as far like before I used to really drink purposefully to get like belligerent.
I mean, that's what happens, man. Like I've been partying forever. You know, it's like making up. What is it? Not loud enough? Oh, I see it. No, it's you just start partying for so much, man. Like I'm around it constantly to the point that. I mean, I'll tell you straight up what happened, man. I lost one of my fixtures, man.
Your what?
I got drunk, and I lost one of my fixtures.
Your light fixtures?
Yeah, one of these fixtures is like, shoot, $500.
Yeah.
Good thing it's not a $2,500.
Is it one that you rented, or is it actually one you own?
Well, one that I did an event, and I had so many of them that I just left one behind at the venue. Luckily, it was at a venue that I left it at. So after that incident, I was like, man, I'm short $500, man. Like nobody really leaves stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I left my guitar at the venue. Come on, man. And then I just was like, nah.
Wait, so you left it because you were like drunk or whatever?
Well, I was lit. I
was
was lit. You know,
But it was because I know you actually like for bigger events you'll rent. You were showing me that like a place where you can rent all different types of equipment. So was it one of those or was it one you owned?
For the most part, I stopped doing that about 3 years ago. Okay. So what I used to do, I used to install gear at venues, and then and just leave my gear. But then I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Nobody takes care of your gear like you do. So I stopped doing that, and now pretty much what people tend to do, they just contract me, and they're like, "Hey, look, I need this look," and I've been doing it for years, man. So what I do is I just bring my gear. You rent me out, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pay for the gear, which is minimal, like pennies on the dollar, man, compared to how much a production company would charge an individual. This is why so many local people just come to me and just get me to do stuff, man.
What is we kind of bounce around a little bit. What is like the biggest production company either around here and also maybe like in America? Is there one that's like known?
Well, there's many.
Like who's like the Super Bowl calling?
Oh
for,
man,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
have no idea who that is, but I tell you what, like I know who the Something in the Water people are. That's that Lollapalooza people. Yeah. The same production company that Lollapalooza to do Something in the Water.
Hold on, where they do Lollapalooza? I mean, that's not Virginia. That's like
it's
right?
in some other state.
That's
I
like
don't
a big
know.
festival.
Yeah, it's a big festival. But at the end of the day, they're like big show production companies. You know, I mean, at a local level, you got Virginia Stage Company. You know, they got them big LED wall panels and stuff like that.
Virginia State, the school, they have their own.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have, and what you talking about? The school.
You said Virginia State, or you talking about the state
Virginia
of like
Stage Company.
Oh, okay, my bad.
And then you got First Stage. Mm-hmm. Like that's another good one. I mean, but that's at a local level. Those contracts right there are like the city stuff. Yeah. You know, you're covering a whole block worth of lighting and stuff like that. But when you start getting down to the lower stuff, like, hey man, we got this space specifically, and then you start getting into the smaller companies such as me. But then at the same time, I don't really need my gear. You know what I'm saying? Like, then that's the latest thing that I've been proving, or pretty much showing people that I can do. So somebody will just hire me, for example, at the bunker. I've been the last.
You did a Who's show, right?
I did Who's show. Yeah. I did Shelly's show on Christmas.
Oh, you did the Christmas show?
Yeah.
The lighting?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I try to stay in the background. You know.
Okay. Yeah. We gonna get into it.
Yeah. Man, I've done so many. You know, people don't know. I don't know if you remember back in the days. There's a venue called Work Release.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
heard
remember
of it.
that?
That was Charles.
Right? With Charlie and all that. I mean, Charlie go way
Charlie.
back, man. Yeah, well, Charlie. I call him Charlie because I've known him for like 20 years already.
I should have said. I think I actually met him as Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what do you mean though without your gear? You say you've been trying to prove a point you could do without your gear.
So, like for example, the bunker has their own equipment already. A lot of their equipment is exactly the same as my equipment.
Okay.
All right. So they already have their equipment installed, already networked and everything. All I do is show up, plug my computer since I already reprogrammed the whole venue. And then that's when the art begins. Because lighting to me, it's like the light fixtures themselves, and my control board and my computer are like my paintbrushes.
Okay.
And now I'm just listening to what you're doing, and what do I picture? If it's soft, light tones. If it feels warm, warm tones, and so on and so on, and pretty much adding the flashes. You're good. Okay. Oh shit, my bad. Right up on it. No, man, but adding the flashes and stuff like that, you know, and all that stuff.
You ain't gotta be. You know
no, you're good. It's pretty much what the client sees, man. You know, at the end of the day, for real, like ultimately, what I'm doing, I'm refining whatever the individual is. I'm catering to the individual's output. They look refined at the end of the day. That's what I mean. I'm refining, but they look refined.
They're saying kind of like what you do is deeper than just bringing the equipment. It's actual like you feel like it's an art form in the actual syncing it to the music and
that's
catering it to certain artists and stuff like that.
That part that you just stated with the syncing it to the music is what a lot of other individuals lack. A lot of individuals just set up the lights and just let them do their thing and set them on auto or just fade colors. What I'm doing, I'm intentionally changing the colors and changing the brightness and controlling the speed of how they move depending on the tempo of the song and stuff like that. So pretty much at the end of the day, when you view whatever's been recorded or whatever people that was there, they get immersed in it because, well, like, man, this is going to the beat of the song. It makes it feel like a real concert. Because that's exactly what they do at real concerts. Exactly the same thing. Outside of the fact that at a real concert, the PM or the production manager already has that all pre-programmed for that specific song. You know?
Yeah, you were telling me kind of about this, which I wasn't really too aware. You were like, okay, so we could back it up a little bit. So I seen you randomly. Actually, I kind of want to tell them where we met at. So the first time where we met was at the Can.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. So I was like preparing for like this like mini tour that we did, like an open mic tour. And you were just there. I think you were cleaning up like your stuff. You had did something that day. And we were trying to set up for our set, just like do a rehearsal. And you just like helped us out. You were just like helping us out with I think the audio, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like my introduction, like how we met, and you were just like being like super helpful.
I was what I was actually doing was I was cleaning up after, I believe, the first Seeing Shapes that we did with D-Kane, exactly. So you know how D-Kane pretty much painted that whole venue in black and white.
Bro, by hand
dope.
though. That's how I actually met him in the middle while he was painting it one day.
Oh, really?
He's literally painting. And I just thought it was crazy because he had this small ass brush. And he's like, I'm about to paint this whole building with this small ass brush with my hand. I'm like, bro, what? It's
now
gonna take forever.
Roller, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, you don't use like
bro.
spray or like a bigger brush or something? He's like, nah, bro. I was like, all right.
No, he finished it all and he was like, yo, man, I see what you be doing and this and that, man. You need to come through and add your flair to it. And I'm like, what you mean by my flair? It's like, no, I want you to DJ, honestly, because I've heard you DJ before. And that's a whole other conversation.
Oh, yeah, we gonna get into all that. Yeah. I know we bouncing around a little bit.
Oh, no, there's a lot of bounce around because a lot of people think that, oh, yeah, I'm the light guy. And I'm like, that's the better half of me, but I do a lot more than that.
I actually I thought you were a DJ, or I found out it's you being a DJ before the light stuff. Which I guess is light tech. That's the actual name, right?
No. Well, yes, when I'm controlling the lights, I'm a light tech. When I'm creating the whole show and I'm talking about doing sound, lighting, it's more of a PM or production manager or because I have full control of everything. Whether I'm actually doing it or somebody's actually doing it, I can guide that individual through the whole motions. The light tech is more the individual doing the light function, programming the actual lights. Yeah.
Maybe we can back up a little bit. So, okay, so you want to just tell us kind of about just childhood life a little bit, coming up, you know what I'm saying, how you even got into doing what you do.
That.
All of that, like all your stuff. Yeah.
All right. So what ended up happening was I think I was like 15 years old and
born and raised in Virginia Beach?
Well, I was born here in Newport News actually. Okay. No, I wasn't born in Newport News, excuse me. I was born in Panama. I was raised in Newport News.
Okay.
Panama is the Panama City of the country. Not Florida. And
not Florida. Yeah.
But Yeah, learn how to speak English and all that good stuff. Graduated high school here, but I was actually in Pennsylvania when I actually started doing the lighting portion. My mom, she wanted to keep me out of trouble. So play an instrument, learn this, because, I was hanging out with the bad kids. You know what I mean? Skateboarding,
He said with the bad kids, skateboarding. I used to skate too.
Yeah. But she was like, nah, I need you to decorate the house for Halloween. And I was like, well, in order for me to decorate the house, I'm gonna need this and this and that. And pretty much we ended up going to Walmart, and I ended up buying 2 light bulbs and one of those light bulb splitters. You know what I'm saying? That splits into 2 light bulbs.
Yeah,
Screw one here. And I grabbed my study light, like my light from my desk, and I put it on there, and I put that joints on the roof, man. Right. I don't know how I saw that, but it just worked out. So one side of the house is green and the other side of the house is yellow. And then I just started grabbing Christmas lights and just putting them everywhere, and it looked super dope for Halloween. And I started cutting I've always been artistic, honestly, and decorated the house for Halloween. And after that, my boss was like, well, shit, you did this, you're going to do it next Halloween. Well, check this out. You could have that shed in the back. So I got the shed. There's this big shed, a 2-story shed. And that turned out to be my room pretty much from 15 years old all the way to 17 years old. I just hung out there.
Did you sleep in there and shit too?
Nah, I mean, I had a bed inside the house, but you know how it is. Sometimes you prefer to sleep like where all your fun stuff is at, bring the shorties over. Man, I pretty much had my own crib when I was little.
So wait, what was he telling you to use the shed for? To practice?
Just
to keep your light stuff
just
in there?
to keep me away from the house, I guess. To practice me playing the guitar is just like the hangout shed.
Yeah.
From there, that's when I actually started learning lighting, but I didn't actually truly learn lighting until I started working with my best friend. I actually went to school to Full Sail. And I remember this, man. I used to be in the military. From high school on to this next point, I was in the military, so let's not talk about that. You know what I'm saying? And then I got out. And then my best friend, he went to school for that. And we were like, hey, man, let's throw a New Year's party. That New Year's party got busted by the cops. But I got my first 2 fixtures because I had like some money. So I got 2 fixtures that created rays, and we put out fog, man. It looked super dope, man. Like everybody attended that Halloween party. It was like, not Halloween, New Year's party. It was like, this is super nice. It's 2008. And right after that, one of the people that attended was like, hey, man, come out to my apartment in Norfolk and redo this. Like, do exactly what you did here. And I'm like, I'll pay you. And I was like, you know what? I just might do that. So I showed up, and I set it up. And that's when I met this guy named Burke at that party. Burke was like, hey, man, can you do that at a Valentine's Day party? Pretty much, shoot.
Did your price go up from that first time?
No.
Same price?
Nah, like, the price was like minimal, man. She like gave me like $50 to do that. I wasn't even really thinking about getting paid. I just wanted to party. It's some real shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah. And boom, when Burke brought me to his event, he's like, yeah, man, I'll give you $100. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, it's $100 more than what I had. So I showed up, and man, it turned out to be a really good event. That day I met pretty much everybody. All my main key clients, I met them that day.
At the one that Burke booked you for?
Yeah, the one that Burke booked me at.
You said Valentine's Day stuff, right?
Yeah, it was on Valentine's Day of 2009, I think so.
Okay.
Isn't
today Valentine's Day? Oh no, yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday. Pretty much yesterday, but in 2009.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my very first event. It ended up being Gabe's first live DJ event too.
So it starts from like this.
Yeah,
decorating the house on Halloween. That kind of just some sparks in you right there. Like I like doing this.
Yeah, but ultimately I had the niche for painting, so I understood color and using color in areas. Except for it turned into painting a 3-dimensional area instead of painting a 2-dimensional canvas. That's what the difference is.
And you said your friend went to Full Sail, so was there like a lighting?
He actually went to school for show
production
class? There. Yeah, it's a whole degree for that. He went to school there, And he learned that. He taught me a little bit, but then I went to school for engineering and I pieced it all together. I pretty much combined art and engineering into one package.
What kind of engineering?
Electrical. So
Okay.
you learn all the languages and stuff like that. That's why I'm like pretty quick at programming.
In what ways you think you combined it, or like what do you use from your engineering?
Oh, I use pretty
Background.
much all the networking skills that you learn at engineering, all the programming skills, pretty much understanding values, how to create shortcuts and layering of those values.
What do you mean by that?
Here, man. So to get a number 5, let's say you want that number 5. All right. How many ways can you get a number 5? You can add 1 plus 4, 2 plus 3,
Okay.
2.5 plus 2.5. That's what I mean by layering. So there's so many ways to do it and via programming. That's just mathematics. But
How does that translate to lights though?
because
How would
those lights don't turn on unless you send them a command.
you? Okay.
Yes. So I mean, some lights you just flip on and they change color and you flip a knob. That knob, it's got values. Well, when you're talking about $10,000 worth of light equipment, you're not gonna switch one knob to make that action happen. You gotta give it a command, and all those commands are pre-programmed. Like, oh, I want these specifically to feel this way, and then the background to be like, and that's what everybody sees. I mean, it looks simple at the end, but at the end of the day, it's work. It's work. Yeah.
So I guess where'd you go after that Valentine's Day party?
Oh, after that,
And it's funny how you're meeting like the next
much-
gig from the previous gig.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
And I ended up installing lights at this venue called the Wave in Norfolk, because they hired me to do they hired me to do their events for 1 week, not for one whole week, like Friday, Saturday.
that weekend,
Yeah, man, and that's what I did. And they were like, "Yeah, we like exactly what you did. How much would it cost to input it?" And at that point, I was like, "Yeah, I'll be about."
So you're licensed that? So from that first gig, are you buying more equipment after each one of these gigs?
And you just start collecting more and more and more gigs, and it just rolls over.
When was it at the point where? Because you said you finished the military, so I'm assuming that was like your job for a while.
Yeah.
So when you started the lighting, were you still doing a 9 to 5? How long did
I'm
it take?
still doing a 9 to
Okay.
5, man. Even now, there ain't no reason to quit it when I could do both. This is more like a weekend gig.
Are you making more money doing this than your day job?
It's getting to that point where
Okay.
it's coming up to like I'm actually equaling out. I'm making almost the same.
I know, kind of like a lot of people go through that, like starting like your dream or something may start as like a side business. Sometimes a lot of times you have to do your 9 to 5 at the same time as you do this, but it's like then it gets to that point where it meets, or it's like you got to choose one. You don't have time for both. Or I know sometimes you might a lot of people, myself included, you might take a pay cut. You might take a pay cut to focus more time on this, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna be a little more broke like right now, but later on it'll pay off.
That's exactly. I mean, last year I took a dive personally into a new area. Like I was just doing stuff in the 757, and then I was like, you know what? Let me try stuff in the 804. Sure enough, connected with the correct people and started doing stuff in the 804. Now I'm back and forth.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be in Richmond soon.
Yeah.
Probably doing something with Harsh.
Yeah.
Harsh
I
World.
heard
Yeah.
of it, yeah.
I think we're gonna do a skit with him.
Okay.
So you're doing all these gigs. Did you do the Halloween at the house the next year, or you're like, I'm too busy now? Like,
Nah,
I got the
man.
gigs, I can't do the Halloween shit.
Pretty much, that's what it turned out, man. All the Halloweens I seem to get booked, man. Everybody wants
that's
the
what
party
happened,
looking dope. Like, they're like, yeah.
Your parents like, y'all put you on this shit, bro. You better get your ass back
man,
here.
It's like, Ma, I can't help you out this year, man. But the last one I did do, I do have online. I think it was like 2017. No, I did one last year.
What, Halloween?
Yeah. So I went to my parents' house, and my sister, she was like, "Oh well, I'm gonna decorate it like what is it called? Beetlejuice." And
Okay.
she ended up getting a bunch of props, man. And literally, I had all the gear from the social supply party in the back of my car, like all of it. And I was just stopping by to say what's up, man. So I was like, you know what? Hey, no, I'm good. And I was like, hey, what y'all doing? And they're like, oh no, we're setting up for Halloween. This was like the afternoon. And I was so hungover. I was like, yo. I grabbed the light fixtures and I laid them out. And I was like, hey man, y'all owe me for this. And I set it up for them on Halloween. The neighbors just walking by, they're like, man, y'all must have spent a fortune in this. And I was like, yeah. Yeah.
Now imagine like doing like fire and shit at like the stadium shows. You ever mess with like smoke or fire or anything?
Man, I tell you what, if I was certified to do that, I'd be.
Oh yeah, you probably got to get like a whole license.
Yeah.
Like you want to put fire in the middle of the stage? Like,
man, you got to get a license to have lasers outside. Yeah, you got to get them variants registration pretty much. And you let the city know that you know how to use this piece of equipment and you're not going to point it at airplanes. And that's when you can use lasers outside. But stuff at the beach.
Bro, they're not playing with that shit in the air. Like even with like, I want to say when you have a drone, like the drones with cameras, I think there's certain spots you can't fly them or like a certain height.
Yep.
Definitely can't go to close to airports, like
no.
different shit.
Not even police stations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like remember at Vive Park?
Yeah, that was the one that Utopia did.
Yeah,
the festival, right? Yeah.
Vive Park is so close to police station, the drone won't fly more than like 20 feet up in the air, and then it'll just get blocked. The frequency will get blocked at that point.
Yeah, I think I was actually talking to somebody that told me they got one of them nicer drones. It was like I think like 3,000-4,000, but they had to take a class. Like they took a class, got a certification. Like, but they're not playing. You know, now they're shooting stuff down at the sky for the past like week or two. You know what's crazy? I was looking it up, bro. Like, oh yeah, we got like flies in here. That's how you know it's getting warm now. Side note, even on that, bro, is it just me or was winter weak as shit this year?
Yeah,
I'm really I feel like I'm a global warming believer now. Like I'm like, yo, what happened to winter?
Look, man, like, the way I see it, it may get warmer and it's like getting short, and then it's gonna be that 1 year, and it's gonna snow until June.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna happen for real. Don't be surprised.
Yeah, so it's like I looked it up, and it's like I'm pretty sure that never in the history of America has anything ever been shot down out of the sky over American soil. So this recent shit that started is now it went from never. It just happened like 4 or 5 times in 1 week. So it's like. Something's crazy is kind of happening. like, so I'm not really sure, but it's kind of weird.
You're talking about the alien spaceship in Alaska.
It could be a few things. It could be aliens, actual aliens. It could be a different country that's sending some shit we don't know about. It could be all a hoax. It could be something like a distraction. It's like, it's different possibilities. So it's like.
Or it could be all of the above.
Oh, yeah, like, it could very well be like.
Yeah.
I want it to be aliens. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, look, man. I don't know. I ain't trying to be like but hey, man, they showed us pictures about that balloon that they shot like over here in
that's the Chinese spot.
Yeah, the Chinese joints, but they won't show us no pictures of what they shot down in Alaska. So I really do think they really shot down an alien spaceship for real.
Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know. Even when I first started this podcast, it literally sounds crazy, but I always felt like, yo, I feel like one day I might really be doing a podcast with an alien. So it's like, what if it really leads to that? Like,
look, man,
it becomes like aliens are just like, they're on Earth, we're chill with them. They stop by, they give us some cool technology. Like, they give us a ride around the universe, show us around. Like,
so
we become friends. You know what I mean?
Let me be honest with you, man. The day that aliens are real, I guess. Home dude right there.
Yeah, shout out to Larry. Shout out to Larry.
Yeah, shout out to Larry. But they announced themselves outside of Larry. Larry the cool one. You know what I'm saying? But they announced themselves as like, hey, man, we're here. The whole world's going to change. It's going to. It's going to have to, man. Like, oh, man, for real, we ain't really alone.
Yeah, also, it's like, to me, I feel like that's what kind of COVID was. Like, COVID was like something that happened, right? That changed the way everybody kind of sees the world, changed the world in a way. Like, us going through COVID changed the world. But so that's like the world changed in like 2 years. Mm-hmm. So now it's like, I feel like it just progressively gets to like bigger and bigger things happening where it changes the world in a shorter amount of time.
Oh, man.
And even with the internet, I feel like I said that before too. Like with the internet, because how does something change the world? Like something changes the world by that information spreading to enough people and through that, like everybody being aware of that, it changes the world. But now with the internet, like shit just spreads overnight. Everybody can know about it. So literally, like every day could be like a new world.
Shoot, you tell me, man. I just posted something online and I was like, whoa! Overnight, it was like 100,000.
What do you mean?
No. I was editing some videos on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, just little stupid shit you post, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you say it went up? Like it went up, got 100,000 views?
Yeah, like overnight, man. Like,
oh, I
less
seen
than
it. He posted
week, bro.
was that a
Like,
boxer or something in the ring with a cigarette?
Oh yeah, no.
He
no,
was
no,
like,
no,
he was
no.
like, he just got the whole crowd pregnant by that with that look or some
that
shit. I was
thing,
like,
that
what?
That joints, man. I was in there like, whoa, but it was hilarious because ultimately at the end, like speaking about that stuff, not trying to change the conversation.
No, you're good.
But yeah, the internet is the quicker way to spread the information out to everybody. But it's also how you deliver it, man. You know, you can't just create one thing and it'd be like oh, this and that and everything, all the information that you needed for that, it's in those first 15 seconds. Nah, man. Sometimes you gotta set it up like a punchline of a joke. Like, hey, what's red and blue? What's black and white and red all over? You know what I'm saying? And that's when the video ends. And you're like, well, I want to know what is black and white and red all over. You click on it, and then you have the punchline. I feel like that's the better way of showcasing, because at the end of the day, when you're on the internet, man, you know, you want people to view more. Like, you ever seen Starship Troopers? Want to know more?
I don't think so.
Okay, man.
I've seen Super Troopers though. You seen that?
Yeah, that shit funny.
He's like he can't. He's already pulled over. He can't pull over anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Sometimes you just want to know more, man. So
what are you saying? Like, do like longer? You like longer form content?
no, not longer form content necessarily, but like, I mean, there's so many ways to showcase stuff, but one of those ways is to treat it like a joke.
Oh yeah, you can't take.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they say the best way to deliver information is like jokes, like, you know, get people comfortable. Like, yeah, sometimes you can be too serious with shit. You touching on photo edit or video editing, so I know you like.
Yeah, I do video editing too. Yeah.
What are you using? Are you really editing all your stuff on your phone? Like, what app are you using?
I will put y'all on. Hold up.
And you were telling me something actually. So actually, I want to say that too. So I don't know if I told you this either, Kieran. I went to court when because I got a speeding ticket and like a few different tickets in Virginia Beach. Yeah, like me and TC was with me actually. That's the night they tried to get me, like, they thought I was drunk, so they had me out walking. My first time in my life doing this for like an hour and a half, bro. I'm doing all the tests, this, that. He got me walking. He got me standing on one foot with my head tilted back, counting to 30. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, yo, it's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm tired of shit. And like, so I wasn't drunk, so he ended up giving me like every other ticket he could. But fucking,
fuck that.
So I get to court. It's funny because I seen two people I know. Like, I walk out. First, I get out of my car, and the girl that's walking out of her car is literally my cross street neighbor. So it's like, what are you doing in Virginia Beach? So then we go in court, and then I see bro Loplex in there too. I'm like, hey, yo, what the fuck? So then we actually, I think that courtroom was packed, so we had to go to a different courtroom.
It was super packed.
We go to the same one, and but yeah, we got some like lunch after and shit, and I ended up having to actually pay like $500 for those tickets. I was mad as shit. But you were telling me you were doing something like with a live stream, different camera angles. Like, what was that about?
Was it back in the days, like during COVID, when everything was going on? Nobody could do shows, man.
Yeah.
Nobody could do
like
shows.
COVID,
So I got tight with my friends. Once again, we started hanging out a lot more often. And Utopia Fenny opened the doors to what we were doing and was like, hey, man, we're going to test this out. We don't have the space to, like, you know, just gather together. So the homies used to make beats online, like, you know, on live streaming.
You talking about Gabe?
Pretty much Gabe, Fakey Sumi, excuse me, a bunch of producers. Yeah. Whoever could come through, pretty much. And we used to live stream them. It went from using like 720p USB cameras to full-blown GoPros to DSLRs, man. Like,
this is on Instagram Live.
Yeah, on Instagram Live, but same output as everybody else, like on Twitch or YouTube used to do. Except
and you were telling me that I think there was an app that was allowing you to do that. Like, what was your
same
setup?
App that
what was
everybody
the setup?
uses. OBS.
Oh, okay, OBS.
Yeah.
And what are you using, like an iRig?
What do you mean by an iRig for
or
camera?
Yeah, I guess like how are you connecting?
Well, no, you use a switch, like a regular camera switch for video cameras, and then you just connect it to the computer, and that allows you to connect multiple cameras to it. And then OBS is the software. Not I'll say this because if you don't know by now, man, you behind the curve.
Okay.
You know, this is like years ago.
Let me know. We haven't really done much with live streaming. I think what did we use when we did on Twitch? We did like Twitch streams a couple times, and there was some app we were using or some program. Was it OBS? That sounds kind of right.
Streamlabs.
No, that was the virtual joint. We used Streamlabs for that, but we didn't do that live.
Almost like OBS.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, pretty much.
So that's like industry standard, I guess.
No, it's not industry standard, but it's free.
Okay.
It allows you to do your thing. It's the hardware that starts getting into the industry standard. I mean, when you really think about it, you're gonna let your computer do all the work of processing, or you're gonna let a piece of hardware process all this information, collect it into one source, and input it into whatever you're outputting. That's what that is. You use your computer as your main output, but you use the hardware that's connected to your computer as the thing that processes the data.
So what was this COVID show? Like y'all gather at Utopia.
Oh yeah.
We got producers making beats.
And then one day Gabe was just making a beat, and I'm like, all right, cool. I have my DJ stuff set up. And I start playing a Brazilian song on top of his beat, and he's like, oh, that's hard. Next thing you know, 2 weeks later, because, we were off for like months, 2 weeks later, we're just DJing live, and everybody and our grandma's just on their phone partying with us and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Look, but it was lit though. Like, for COVID, when everybody was stuck at home, everybody could hang out with us like online. Yeah, and I got a few clips of that, but for the most part, it lasted until we were able to actually do events. As soon as we could do
like an intermediate thing, or
pretty much.
I say intermediate, intermission.
With that, I ended up assisting my boy Tyler Donovan.
Oh, yeah.
He created that whole show with the clouds in the background and all that.
Yeah, I just seen him at Utopia recently. We were there for the Fake Azumi.
Yeah.
And Mac show.
Yeah, and pretty much that's how I got into that streaming part.
Now, actually, I kind of forgot now. I want to say he was off his cane though. Is he off the cane? Is he just walking without anything right now?
I mean, he's still on the cane, but not as bad as
Because the first time I ever met him, he was on the walker.
Oh yeah.
I want to say.
Yeah.
You know how? Did I ever tell you where I met Tyler at?
No, go ahead.
Bro, it's actually kind of a funny story. So me and Avery was actually with me. We went to Boris the Lucid's video shoot, like I want to say a year or two ago, and it was like in these storage like places, the storage place in Virginia Beach, but it was like a bunch. Like, each storage spot was like its own like studio, I guess. So it's like a bunch of them. It's like just built like whatever little corner of a bunch of them. So we get there. And we walk inside. Me and Avery walk inside this joint. It's I think I actually told us on the podcast before, but we walk inside one of them, and I'm thinking it's Boris shit, but it's a whole bunch of just like rappers in there, like trap artists and shit, like hood dudes in there. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, this. I'm thinking when I walk in, I'm like, yo, I'm thinking when I walk in, like, yo, Boris got a lot of hood friends, like, yo, like type shit. So we get in there, and it's like I only really recognized one person. It was like Beach Boy Tay was in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this Boris video shoot. They like, nah, bro, you in the wrong shit. I'm like, oh, damn, like my bad and shit. So we leave. But then, so as I'm walking out of that one, Tyler's about to walk in that one, and I'm like, bro, that's the wrong one and shit. So then we like find Boris and shit like together, and but yeah, that's where I met Tyler at. He's actually coming on the show soon too.
Yeah.
We've been. This has been like a long time in the making too. The episode with him.
Man, dude,
We've been talking about it for a while. Like we've been talking about it for a while. We booked it like a while ago.
He's a good dude, man. He's very talented. You know what I really dig about like people like him? He's very particular. Like when you work with him, he'll tell you exactly like, hey man, this is what I want. And he'll explain all the details and be like, all right, cool. This is what I can cater to. And then we meet each other in the middle. That's what's like working with him. I actually respect that because he has the vision for what he wants. Most other clients are like, what do you think it should look like? And I'm like, all right, cool. So you're telling me already you want me to just run with it.
Yeah.
But when somebody actually tells me exactly what they want, it's easier to meet them in the middle.
Yeah, then we got like a cool starting point. And then like, okay, this is what I can bring to it. Like, what do you think about? You can maybe collaborate. Like,
exactly. The thing is, I'm a problem solver. Number one. Yeah. Secondary, like, an executor, definitely. So if you don't know how to do something, I'll figure out how to do it. And if you can't execute it because sometimes a lot of this stuff costs money, man. But guess what? I've been collecting the resources for almost 2 decades, man.
Yeah.
I got the resources.
What do you got, like a storage space, or you like keep it all at your house?
Humongous storage space, bro.
Okay.
And all the speakers are in, all the lights. You know, anytime I go in there, I have everything. I'm like OCD, like a mug, so everything has to be in the same bag. Or because like lately, just doing gig after gig. Like I had 2 gigs back to back, one Friday, one Saturday, and if I didn't have my wires organized, I would never find anything. Specifically, sometimes you only have 2 hours to set up. You're like, oh, that's easy. Now when you got a program,
Yeah.
you know?
And what do you have, like a trailer or something? How are you bringing stuff?
That's what I'm working on. I do not have a trailer. Occasionally,
so you're carrying everything in that car?
In the car, yeah. Or I get a U-Haul.
Okay, you
Just haul it.
Bro, we went to actually buy. So this place is actually a carport. It started as you know what a carport is? Mm-mm. It's like those. It's like a metal roof. Usually people just use it to park their car under, and it's just held up on posts. There's no walls or anything, right? So this is actually a carport above here. And we put balls on it and closed it up and shit.
Like a carport. I get it.
Yeah, this is a carport.
Like
so when we picked it up, we had to go get it from Virginia Beach, and like we loaded it up in the truck. And like I tried to just get it in a regular pickup truck, and bro, that shit was not about to work because everything is like 20 feet long, so it's hanging out the back of the truck, and it's literally all the weights on the fucking little box in there. That's just coming off. I'm like, hell no. We got like down the street. I had to stop. And I went and got a U-Haul.
But it works.
No, it definitely worked. That shit took a while though. So what are you trying to get, like a closed-in trailer?
Yeah, I'm working on an enclosed trailer right now because I got way too much speakers now.
Yeah, like, right now, like shit's expensive. Like you used to probably be able to get like a decent one for like $4 or $5 grand, maybe.
Bro, like I've been looking at. I was looking at one. They wanted 1,500. That shit was used, and I was like, nope.
1,500?
Yeah. Like
what do you mean?
You can get a trailer for around 1,500.
That's good.
But the one that I want is around 2,500.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have that.
And they're all probably gonna be used, whatever one you find.
No, I'm not really sweating.
That's what I'm saying.
I wanted that joint to be black, like the whip, bro. Like
I mean, you could paint it. Yeah, you could paint it.
Yeah, nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Be black already.
You want to be black already? Yeah. I'm weak.
Like I would have put rims on that bitch if I had my way.
Yeah. That's funny as shit. So like, yeah, bro, like being somebody that's, you've been doing your thing out here for a while.
Yeah,
you talking about you started really in like 08, 09. Yeah. What are your thoughts on just, the area from then to now?
I mean, at the same time,
like
there's been growth. I like the fact that the current community that is out there is working more with the city. I think honestly, compared to back in the days, the city's more accepting now. Yeah. I mean, this stuff that goes on, like the stuff that's going on in Norfolk and all that stuff. But then at the same time, like, they're trying to, because they're starting to see that the people that are creating are taking the correct steps to actually either one, be legal, and being able to do things, and two, pretty much be legal, man. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, that's it.
Legal as far as like throwing events, getting alcohol permits and
getting alcohol
like
permits. If you're a company, you do the paperwork, you send out invoices, you're paying taxes. Exactly.
That's what they really want. They want the fucking taxes, bro. Stop playing with them.
I mean, but then at the same time, when you really think about it, it's teaching the young cats, I'm older, but I'm younger, you know what I'm saying, at doing this stuff, that how to play the business game. Like, don't get me wrong, man. I can see what I'm doing right now, becoming an actual full-blown production company.
So what do you want to be doing? You want to be doing like the Super Bowl one day or some shit? Do you want to take it to that level, or you got like other stuff you want to do too?
Let me work on a smaller stage.
But like, do you want it to eventually get some shit like that?
Hey, look, if it gets to that point, so be it. That's it. I mean, that's all I can say.
That Rihanna shit was hard,
bro. That shit.
They went dumb.
Stupid. Who really killed it though?
Who?
That sign language girl.
I seen that video today. Yo. She was going dumb. Yeah, like, bro, I was kind of surprised. Whereas everybody that was on the platform, did they have harnesses?
I know Rihanna.
Because it looked like they didn't, bro.
No.
And I'm like, they didn't have no railing on that. I was like, that's kind of a bold move.
Look,
like,
I posted that whole show.
I'm like, yo, somebody call OSHA. Like OSHA about to pull up to this.
Yo,
bitch.
no, dude. No, let me tell you. If you watch that clip, the actual Super Bowl, when she's singing "Shine Bright Like a Diamond" at the very end, bro, don't look at her. Look at this platform. that joint's just moving. It was like moving left and right. I was like, oh hell,
Like in a scary way.
bro. Like I was like,
They're like,
no.
you better put a harness on, Riri. What the fuck you
like,
doing?
you're pregnant.
Yo. Oh yeah, she's pregnant. Yeah, she's pregnant again
Yeah,
too.
man.
Shout out that boy ASAP.
I
man.
know. Shout out.
Come on.
He's like,
he been trying to. Oh yeah, come on.
he
He holding
came
it
up.
down.
He came up for now.
Bro, nah, ASAP Rocky Loki a fucking.
Hey,
He a goat out here too. Like I feel like you don't really hear his name on like lists and shit like that. Like he's been doing it for a while too. Like
yeah, man.
going crazy.
I mean, if you're honest, man, like, you know, in life, you get to a point where you're like, well, I'm comfortable with what I did. You know what? I feel like personally, he was like, yeah, I'm ready to like have a family, man. You know, like that. I think he got to that point. He's comfortable what he did. And I mean, lucky for him, he wooed up Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Rihanna was probably like, I'm trying to have a family and he had no choice. Like, you know what? Me too.
yeah,
All right,
you
fuck it,
got
let's do
no
it.
choice, man. It's like, fuck it. You're only a billionaire.
But yeah, so you're saying the cities, you feel like the city is more accepting
Yeah.
in today's time. Like, yeah, we definitely still have bullshit like going on with venues, and I think we still need different size venues, more of them, especially on this side. Like nothing really, there's not really any venues in Newport News, Hampton, like for real.
No, I feel you on that one. Here,
Not even a handful. Like
let me put it this way: a lot of us seem to go to the other side of the water to create, to throw
Across the
events
water.
and stuff like that, right? Why is that? Because we feel ourselves being from this side of the water. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, all the fun stuff goes on over there because the cities are over there. You got Norfolk, you got Virginia Beach, and they're the ones doing things. When honestly, we don't have to go to the other side of the water. We just got to start doing stuff out here. That's it. We can. I remember when we started out at a dive bar, and man, on Cleveland Street in Virginia Beach, you ain't shit on that street, man. There ain't nothing there.
I would say there's also a bigger crowd of people that attend. It's probably just because it's more creatives, but that attend these events on that side of the water too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if it's. I think if you threw stuff out here, you'll have people come from this side too. But I think it's more people that will go to that type of stuff. That'd be coming from that
The
side.
other side of the water.
Yeah, like
Well,
right now, maybe because this area is not really prime for that as much. Like
a lot of the people that attend that stuff in the other side of the water are from this side of the water.
really,
Yeah.
I don't be meeting that many people. When I'm at these events, if I meet somebody, I'm like, they believe from like I came from Newport News.
Norfolk.
Not that many people say they come from this side.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a few.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. But ultimately, that ties into another conversation that I wanted to have with you.
What's good?
So, I've been doing stuff in Richmond, like I told you.
Yeah.
And the crowd in Richmond is completely different than the crowd here in 757.
Really?
They're more accepting on trying something brand new that doesn't really have a name behind it than somebody in this side of the water. Something when we're this side of the water, like 757.
Yeah.
Here 757, like you have to have like, oh yeah, they throw dope events and this and that. And the other side of the water, in Richmond, excuse me, not the other side, in Richmond,
The other side of the
they're
bird.
they're pretty much like, oh, that's brand new. I've never heard of that. Let me go check it out.
As far as like an event,
Exactly.
or like okay,
They're more accepting on trying new things. I personally feel that the reasons for that is because Richmond it's more of a city in the college area. I mean, but then there's colleges here too.
Yeah.
But
maybe because it's like is it a bigger area? Maybe it's like
Yes.
so it's like a higher, like people have more of a urge or like a want to discover new things.
Yeah.
Here it's kind of like you might go to events for somebody you already know or like some shit like that, but you're not really looking on Eventbrite like, oh, what's the hottest event or what's some high events happening in my area on Eventbrite of some people that you might not even know.
Yeah.
So you feel like that people are doing that type of shit more?
Yeah. They tend to attend new things. Yeah. As long as you deliver, though, because you'll mark yourself really quick. But you know what I'm saying? You can't be like, hey man, we're doing this thing, and then you show up and it's like, oh man, that's bunk. Nah.
So what venues did you do out there?
Oh man, Vagabond. Man, I forgot this other venue. I've been pretty much Vagabond.
How you say that?
Vagabond. This is venue like
Vagabond?
right underneath the National.
Okay.
It's literally the
How you spell that?
basement. Vagabond, like VAG.
Oh, with a V. Vagabond.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vagabond, like like a hobo. You know?
Okay.
You Vagabond.
Yeah. What's
Yeah, like I'm Hispanic, so I'd be saying it all weird.
Man. Oh yeah. So what'd you do at the at the Christmas at Jerome's Christmas show? You said sound.
Oh yeah,
and,
what ended
and
up
lighting?
happening was the boy, my boy, Ellis Quinn, man. He was like, "Yo, man," I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, what's going on, man? Like, let me come through." You know what I'm saying?
Yo, shout out to Ellis, man.
Yeah, no, he's cool. He's like, "Yo," he's like, "Hey, man, so like, who you got doing your stuff?" He's like, "Nah, I guess the old guy there." And I was like, "Oh no," I'm not saying that he's not good. He knows his stuff, and I was like, "Look, bro, like I can do this. Like, look out." And he was like, "Oh, most definitely." So he looked out, and that's how I got in. I mean,
Okay.
at the end of the day, all the homies were performing, so you know, there was maybe like 2 artists out of that whole lineup that I didn't do shit with. One being Tia Corinne.
Tia Corinne.
Yeah, Corinne. Yeah, sorry. And then some artists from Richmond. That's it. Everybody else I worked with.
Yeah.
So it just worked out, right?
So you did sound and
No,
and
I
lighting?
didn't do the sound. I did the light control, all the lighting.
Okay,
Pretty much, I
lighting.
dropped to the songs and stuff like that. Yeah, that was all me. With their gear.
That's all right. Now it's at the bunker, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. With their gear though.
And didn't you do stuff with like Jerome back in the day too?
Yeah.
You said you were at
a few-
work release.
Yeah,
I know
work
he used to be
release.
out there.
Yeah, anytime
Yeah.
that Shelly's performing or drums is performing at work release back in the days, that was me controlling the gear there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that whole 2-year period at work release was my gear as a lighting gear.
Okay.
Yeah, for anybody to take that away from me.
I like to see you like just sounding so passionate about the lighting and stuff because like honestly I never met anybody else that because you got Kieran, he's a videographer. We got videographers, we got producers, but it's like I don't know if we don't have enough people that's actually trying to do like stage production and set design and shit like that. Like that's a cool aspect of it too.
There are people out here that do that.
Yeah.
They seem to just work for the companies to do that.
Okay.
What I feel, in what you're saying, is that a lot of people don't do that on their own. It's just like an artist, man. I'm talking
about like up and comers, like
yeah,
kids that-
exactly. Like what I'm trying to imply is this: like when you start making your own beats and stuff, you start coming up, and then you really start seeing the struggle. And be like, man, I'm gonna starve doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because you're putting more input on getting studio time and stuff like that. Like y'all studio time, you make music, right?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Y'all studio time is like my gear. That's what it is. The talent of y'all making the beats and singing, rapping, all that. It's me behind my computer programming. Same thing, just translating it to a different language, you know. And in time, it just progresses and progresses and progresses. Next thing you know, I'm gonna be competing. Well, if not now, I'll be competing with the bigger companies, you know, or contracts, which I feel like it's coming up. In about a month.
Yo, it'd be crazy if you did another one. I guess we kind of passed for this year already. If you did Holly Dazzle, like shit for the city. I'm trying to think what other stuff events like the city actually throws.
Yeah.
I know out here we have Holly Dazzle, like for like
You got that
Christmas
that city,
and shit.
That shit in Newport News Park. What's it called? The Christmas joints.
That's for the Christmas show. Is that like the road you just drive down and there's just like a bunch
you
of
drive
lights?
to like the golf courses and joints like that. Yeah. But yeah, man,
That's
there's a lot
funny.
of stuff out here like that, man.
And all throughout this, you're also DJing.
Yeah, DJing is pretty much my the first market that I tend to work with because the whole party element. That's where I actually started. So why not do that? And I tend to work.
Bro said, he said, I just wanted to party, bro.
Yeah.
What he say?
Bro, man, we be throwing some sick ass parties. You've been doing, right? No,
I've been to a few events that you were spinning at. Yeah.
No. I mean, not just me DJing, like me catering to them.
Have I? I'm not sure. Have I been to one of yours?
Shit, man. One of these days you gotta come to one if you haven't been to one.
Okay.
You'll see the difference.
Yeah.
Because I realize, number one, wherever it's at, they usually don't have that gear. So we could be like, oh man, we'll throw a party in your backyard and we'll get the good DJs, we'll get the good sound, we'll set up the lighting strategically, and bam, throw the party. It's like, if you build it, they will come. That's what it is. Sometimes, hey man, sometimes it's a fluke though. You know what I'm saying?
What's a flute?
Throwing events. Sometimes you go to a venue, you set all this stuff up, but only a few people show up. Well, we learn how to get around that. We start looking online, seeing like, oh, who else is doing shit?
How do you get around that?
that's you start looking online, seeing who else is doing things. You make sure that when you're gonna do your event, you're not doing it against theirs. You ever thought about that? See, yeah, you gotta pay attention to that. Very important to pay attention to that.
Well, I mean, I throw a couple events, but every time I throw them, we started planning them way earlier than it happened, so I won't even be like knowing if anybody has an event at that time.
Yeah. But then the other element is this: like, will people show up based on clout or based on actual delivery? So, if they're showing up based on actual delivery, it's the main common denominator in that situation is consistency. You can't have an individual show up to your event because it's going to be dope if you haven't done it consistently, you know? And that's what it is. And that's how you actually assist. That's how you actually assist your the people you work with, the DJs, whether you're an artist performing, you know, you just do the same thing over and over and over. So that individual gets the image that whenever he actually creates something, it's delivered to his highest potential, pretty much.
Yeah, like you building that relationship with people, like this, they know what to expect when it comes to something that you're throwing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like
it's going to look dope. First things first. Or if it doesn't look dope, there's something different in there that not just it caters to whatever everybody else is doing. Yeah.
Yeah, we've thought about like throwing some type of events, like recurring events. I like the idea of matter of fact, I think we were talking about it that day at lunch too, but I still haven't figured it out. Like I like the idea of something like once a month or something like that. I don't want to really do once a week, but
No.
Yeah, we haven't figured it out all the way yet.
Once a week is
maybe once every 2 months, something like that.
Yeah. You stretch it out, man. Look, cause sometimes like I was stating, sometimes other people do events, and if you're doing your event when they're doing their event, then now you're limiting yourself. Realize that our circle in our community is tight. You know, I hate to say it, it's almost the same people. This is why I feel like that's why I feel like you should definitely reach out to other communities.
That's why I've been trying to figure out how to reach out to the regular person out here. Like we're talking about, it's mainly like the creative crowd that goes to these places or these events. But it's like there's a whole nother group of people that just like to go out and have a good time that might not really have like know anything that's going on in the creative scene out here. But it's like, how do we reach them?
Yeah,
that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out.
Me too. Me too.
I was gonna ask you too. Didn't you tell me like your girl like makes documentaries?
Oh man,
for, like,
yeah, man, she got a
WHRO?
whole Emmy, man.
Oh yeah, she got an Emmy. That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to my baby.
What is the last thing she wrote? Or what are some documentaries?
Meta.
Meta?
She shoots videos.
Oh wait, she works at Meta?
No. She works at VPN.
Okay.
Which is the company that runs PBS. PBS is an attachment to that company. And she makes videos for them and stuff like that. She shoots documentaries. And during the protest, she shot a documentary with a bunch of photographers and this and that. And then she got an Emmy for that, man. Like pretty much when they took the statue down in Richmond, she lives in Richmond. So like,
because it was a documentary on what's going on in Richmond.
Documenting everything that was happening out there. And she created that documentary and got a whole Emmy for it, which I give her props because what she pretty much recorded was history. You know what I'm saying?
And that documentary was called Meta?
Oh, no. I don't know what that documentary was called.
Damn, she like, honey, you don't even know my doc name? Like, I got an Emmy for this shit?
Man,
the fuck?
Look, I'll look it up, though, but not right now. No, but Meta is my girlfriend's name.
Oh, Meta is your girlfriend's name? Okay, yeah.
That's when I say Meta, that's what I'm talking about.
That's hard. So that I guess that aired on PBS? Or is it like on the internet?
Yeah, man, on PBS, and I'm sure on PBS and some other stuff, man. I don't have me lying you. I didn't see it on TV. All I see is that shiny ass trophy with the wings in the back. Like, I'm like, dang.
Did you go with her to the Emmys?
No. I wasn't dating her when she got that.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't start dating her because of that neither.
I'm weak.
The funny part, some funny shit. So I'm hanging out with her. I know nothing about this Emmy thing at all, you know. And I'm just hanging out with her. So I go to her crib, and I'm like hanging out there, and I'm like looking over it. I'm like, yo, is that an Emmy? She's like, oh yeah, I just got an Emmy.
I don't even know what Emmy looks like.
Why do you got your Emmy in a cup, man? Like, no.
Does it say Emmy on it?
Dude, it's a
Oh, okay.
it's a
I forgot what it
full-blown,
looked like for a
metal
second.
trophy that
Yeah.
goes just like this big.
Okay.
Yo, it's
So she had it in a cup.
no, it was off to the side. You know how like you got your high school trophy and you got pencils in it and shit like that.
Oh, I'm weak.
Yeah, and I was like, what? That's an Emmy. And then
I think remember that was it a video of Drake? Who was it? Was it Kanye? They should like drink out of their Grammy. I want to say.
oh shoot, I would drink
There's
out of my
probably a few.
Grammy too, man. If I
You
had
have?
one.
Oh, I'm about to say.
If I had one,
Yeah.
I'd be like pouring up in it. I was like, hey, let's go.
That's your daily coffee cup. It's just on the table.
Yeah, and then I'll wash that one and use a different one.
I'm weak. Yeah. So
Like,
okay. So you guys weren't together when she got the Emmy.
Nah,
She
we
like,
weren't
you want-
together, but I'm really proud of her, and I will brag all the time about that, man, because I'm really proud of her.
Has she ever talked about doing a documentary on this scene out here?
She's actually
Because I've been thinking I want to do something like that one day. It's not
She's
time for me
working
yet,
on
but she's working on one.
she's actually working on that. So because she works for PBS, she can
Okay.
pitch TV shows to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is between us. No, I'm kidding. But
Well, you don't got to say anything.
No.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not even that. I can't really speak for her, and that's why. But she's thinking about creating a TV show in regards, like
To the
sort of like
scene
a
out here.
documentary. Yeah, pretty much Wheels On out here.
That's hard.
Yeah,
That's hard.
and
I'm
so-
excited to see what happens with that.
I mean, she had one back in the days, like it was in like 2007, and it was about the art community. But now she's trying to veer more to the music.
Bro, we got to get Larry on PBS. I feel like he'd be a perfect
Right.
fit. Tell him how at us.
Yeah,
The Adventures of Larry, brought to you by PBS. Should sound good.
we may have to clean a few things up, though. You know that, right?
No, he's a pretty clean guy. He's a pretty
No,
clean
I'm
cut
sure.
guy. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink, right? He got a face tat, but that's
Yeah,
because he
hey,
wanted
look,
to be more relatable
that
to
face
humans.
tat is hard, though. I ain't gonna lie. to you,
Yeah,
man.
like, you know.
Like one
know.
day when I get my stuff together, I might get an eyebrow tattoo too.
Really?
You're gonna say Loplex on it.
That would be hard, though. So I'm thinking about getting another tattoo, too. I want to get Larry walking my two dogs on a leash. But it's like, the only reason I haven't got it yet is because I feel like that would have to be kind of big. And, you know, my thing is like small tattoos. All my tattoos are like real small. So that's what's kind of stopping me from doing it. So if I don't do that, I might just get Larry's head. Just like a Larry head somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe like on my hand or something.
I mean,
A
dude,
Larry face. Yeah.
I think it's super dope that you got a character, man. Like, for real.
This is like really bro. We talked about it before, I think, but it's like, bro, this is literally, I think, the first time in history where there's been a show that was literally started from the ground up. If Larry ends up having like his own show, like some Rick and Morty shit,
Yeah.
it would be so crazy because it started as just him. Like we're introducing him to the world as just a standalone character. That's like its own, like he's his own thing, and it's like, and then if he goes to have a show, like his character arc would just be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, excuse me.
But look,
But
that's,
yeah,
sometimes
hit us
that's how
up,
stuff
PBS.
starts out, man. You know, for real. Some people just joking around, saying some jokes, and next thing you know, that joke turns into.
I'm
a
just
whole
waiting.
character.
All I'm really waiting on is to meet somebody who can actually animate it, because I don't really have time to learn and do all that shit. So really, it's probably gonna happen whenever somebody either I meet somebody or somebody reaches out.
Challenge accepted.
That's like, yo, let's do it. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
You know, I'll be animating some really hard on Blender too. That's like
You been fucking with that, right?
Yeah.
My
You
my
mess
boy
with
Brian's
Blender
been
too,
fucking
man?
with that too.
Okay.
Bro, nah, he sent me some shit that was hard. It was something that it's mixed with the AI.
face tracking.
Translation on movies and shit for instead of just having captions with still having English mouth moving, they're using AI to have the face speaking whatever language.
And I was talking about
Oh,
shit.
that's
He sent me a
crazy.
program where basically you'll edit like it'll take like a video, right? And it'll break it all into frames. And then you like do like an edit on one frame, and then it'll apply it to all the other frames by itself. Like just like in the click of a button. So you don't have to like go through each frame and do like little tweaks and shit. Like,
Oh, you talking about like translating stuff?
no,
Man,
not
there's a whole
translating. No,
app for that.
no, he's talking about something else. He's talking
Oh.
about a different thing.
Yeah, you're talking about
I'm talking about that's what you sent me recently. This is like from a couple weeks ago.
you're talking about EB synth.
EB Synth. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But
Applies a texture to layers like frames of a video, so that way it like smart tracks the objects in the video and
But the crazy part is just how much time it saves you by applying it to all the frames.
Oh no, not feel you.
Like, yeah.
So I remember AutoCAD Smoke has something like that, which pretty much to me that video editing software is like, it was like Photoshop for
videos.
For videos.
What's it called?
AutoCAD Smoke, and then
I'll look that up.
and then everybody started using Premiere after that. But Premiere's like downgraded compared to that because like literally like for example, like let's say I'm standing there in one frame and I pause it, I'll cut myself out and literally remove everything behind it without having mask, and it'll track those pixels. Bro, it's genius. Like, you know what I'm saying? But what you were talking about translating and stuff like that. Latest thing that I did was you can grab a regular phone camera, plug it onto your phone, and map out your face, and then go on Blender and put those same movement points on Blender, and you can just talk like in front of that camera as long as that camera is facing you.
Like Larry's talking and shit.
Yeah, and pretty much. And now you just got to do is just create the 3D model of Larry.
That's the next step.
And then the face.
Yeah, I need to really take time
go.
to do that.
Challenge
Maybe you
accepted.
can help me with that because like
Challenge accepted.
because right now Larry is just like stop motion. But if I can at least get him to that level, it doesn't got to be perfect like actual show. But if I can at least give him some smooth motion, some facial movements, like it'll take it up a lot. It'll like give me, I think, a lot more freedom to like do different things and create more things with him too.
The one thing with that though, like, does Larry have a voice?
No, I don't want him to have a voice.
Okay, cool. So how is Larry gonna talk? Like,
He doesn't. It's like Mr. Bean.
So he's just gonna make faces. All right.
You know Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
Come on.
Too easy,
Larry is
too easy.
2023 Mr. Bean.
Got you.
Come on.
Okay.
I feel like that shit's engraved in my fucking memories. Like the Mr. Bean when he was jumping off the diving board.
Yo,
I seen that when I was like little ass kid.
Man, there's this one when he was like, I forgot. I don't know if he was playing an instrument or something like that.
I can't remember all.
Oh man, but that shit had me weak.
But yeah, so like technology, like there's, it's like I think it's cool like when they drop new tech, like what artists do with it, how to, you know what I'm saying, try new shit with it. A lot of people aren't liking the AI stuff, but I think it's just another tool. You can just be more creative with it. You could use it to your benefit. You could, you know what I'm saying, like
us lately at this event that we've been doing some the next thing, text to screen, man. Like,
oh, I did that. I sent a picture of Larry up there. Did you see that?
You see what I'm saying?
I sent a picture. Yo,
that was fun, right?
ask you about that. I forgot.
Yeah, there you go. See,
Wait,
we can go back. Yo, like we be trying new things everywhere, bro. Like,
yeah. Just to explain it to people like that wasn't there. So there was a screen on. It was in a venue. It was like party going on.
yeah,
and
it's not part of the venue. We brought that there, by the way.
yeah, so they put up a big projection screen, and there was like a projector, and there was a number. You send in an image, and it like goes up on the joint. So I think I sent the picture of a Larry, like the one with the pink background when he's drinking the smoothie. Yeah, I think I sent that.
It's not even just sending pictures. Like, for example, you can send a message up there. Let's say
what's like, yo, the cops outside. It's like, yo, the cops outside.
Look, man, text this number. Like, pretty much, you can literally do that. It's open game. Of course, most people are trolls, so they end up just sending a bunch of memes up there. But then some people actually get the point of that. Some people take pictures of the event. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, I was here. You send it up there, and then everybody sees you're there, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even that. The best part behind that is that, have you ever noticed how a lot of these events have people like, they hire a photographer?
Okay, yeah.
So are you going to go to every individual at the event and be like, hey, man, you took a picture. Can you send me that picture?
Oh, so it's like everybody take a picture of themselves.
Everybody takes a picture of themselves, sends it up there, and now you have a whole collection of these pictures.
Saving money on a photographer. It's like no, but you know, I guess that's hard.
Though.
That's hard. Yeah, like
It's an easier way to collect information.
So is there? I know you dropped a slideshow. I feel like I don't really see too many, I guess, recap videos.
Yeah, I'll make more as the events. Man, trust me, there's a bunch of events coming up. Fashion shows. I got a fashion show this Sunday.
Oh, where at?
In Chesapeake somewhere.
Okay.
It's Team Lamb though.
Team Lamb?
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, man. They booked us for a fashion show, and we're about to do it up.
That's it for having. I don't think I've heard of a fashion show out here before.
Well, We got one coming up.
I know Tremaine just did
Yeah.
premiered Phases. They did like a short film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that at I believe the
Chrysler
Museum.
Chrysler. Yeah.
I'm surprised that I'm glad that Chrysler assisted him with that.
Yeah.
Them dudes
Official.
yeah, they I mean, you know, they're also picky on who does stuff for around.
Well, Tremaine does stuff with class. Like he does cool things.
it's refined.
Yeah.
It's refined. Exactly.
Yeah, they had the red carpet up there. They had the, shit look dope. Hell yeah. So what's your next event? You said fashion show.
Yeah.
Anything else people?
That fashion show, man, I'm actually trying something brand new.
What are you trying?
I'm gonna run the whole runway with lights.
Okay.
The whole, not like everybody's like, oh man, like, they have a light shining in front of them like this. Nah, the whole runway, like, it's gonna be like lights, like straight all 66 feet. Listen to that, left and right, all 66 feet, gonna have lights. Who done that around here? I can tell you that. Last time I saw that was at the Rihanna show.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
they
for real,
did.
it'll be on those
I hope
little
Riri was, what I'm saying, harnessed in.
Man. But then at the same time, saying that, I'm hyping that up because, I'm pretty proud of myself that actually I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
But you got to get creative with whatever you do, man. Like, what have you not seen in this area? Next thing you know, next time you see that, you're already going to know either, oh, yeah, Javi's doing that. Oh, yeah. Or somebody copied off of what he did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Copying too. It's like, I don't know, we in a different wave now. It's like
It's a form of flattery.
Maybe I'm just talking about like that just kind of like the era we're in. Like people even like if you even down to like content. Like what is like the most popular content right now? It's like on TikTok. It's like people using other people's sounds or doing something like recreating a piece of content that already went up. Like something happens and then it's like a wave of everybody else just doing their version of it, or like you know what I'm saying, whatever. So that's just what we're in. I think that's what we're in. But I think that's cool because it forces you to not like be stationary. You got to keep being creative and keep doing different shit. Like, so yeah, I kind of like that part of it.
I think what forces people to do that is the sense of instant gratification. You know what I'm saying?
Like try to recreate another piece of content.
Yeah,
because they know it'll go up.
Let's put it this way. I do that occasionally myself. Sometimes I see something that somebody created, and I'm like, man, it would have been tight if it was this way. If they would have motion tracked or they did this, did that, and then just recreate it how I personally feel like it should have been. And then sometimes people see it, and they're like, oh, yeah, I've already seen that. But they don't see exactly what was done differently. Like, you know what I'm saying? A good example of that was I put together the Wednesday dance scene, man.
From the show?
Yeah, you've seen Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I've seen it. Actually,
yeah,
I like that.
I grabbed, I don't know if you noticed, but that show is filmed 16 by 9.
Didn't know that, but okay.
Like a TV, all right? If I flip it to a cell phone, it's only 1/3 of the 16 by 9. But she jumps from the middle to the side to the other side throughout that whole scene of her dancing. The camera is never in the middle of her. So you have to track her. You get what I'm saying? So if she jumps to the right side, you got to make sure that that scene is on the right side. So what you end up doing, you end up splitting every camera shot on that clip and then centering it. And if she moves across the camera, then you have to move across that screen with tracking.
Yeah, I get it. That's actually another thing you told me at that lunch that we had.
Yeah.
About the thirds this way, up and down. I think I told you that before. Like, because I was already hip to thirds left and right. But then you were like, bro, you should probably like start putting your like eye level at the third or whatever. And I'm like, bro, I was like, you know what? I really didn't think about that. Yeah. But we've literally been doing it since then.
It's very important. It's stuff that you learn at photography and videography already. Like if you've actually taken a class on that, like you wouldn't. I'm not saying you don't, but it's applied whenever.
I know there's like professional techniques that I'm probably, don't know. I mean, pretty much everything I do, I'm winging it. I'm figuring it out in real time.
Hey,
like,
brother,
you know what I'm saying?
Look, the same thing with me at first, and then I started educating myself about it. You'd be surprised. Like even at shows, man. Like at some concerts, let's take Vibe Park and stuff like that. A lot of people tend to do events out there too. You know what I'm saying? They bring their own lights, right? You've seen that. But the one thing that they tend to do, they tend to point the light out at people. And I'm like, wait a second. It's dark out there, man. It's really dark. Like, why are you pointing a light at people? You should be pointing a light at the people performing on stage. You know? And then the other element that they don't see is like, hey, man, sometimes your light's not bright enough. So now you need to use brighter lights. And that's pretty much where I'm at right now with outside events. Is collecting the equipment to be able to do stuff outside. And that equipment, I am telling you, brother, is not cheap. Because it has to be extra bright because it's outside, you know what I mean? But the perks of it, once it gets to that point, man, bro, all of us are gold. You can do events outside anywhere, pretty much.
I would think you would need a less bright light outside. It's already dark and shit.
Really bright lights for outside. Because if you really think about it, open spaces, there's more space.
I get it. The light is just going.
So you have to cover a bigger area. Exactly.
Hell yeah. I love it, bro. Yeah. We about like an hour 10
really?
in. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything else? Yeah, I appreciate you for sliding. Do you want to touch on anything else? You got the fashion show coming up. What day is that?
Yeah, that's the 19th of February.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Team Lamb. Yeah. Team Lamb's throwing a fashion show.
Lamb, Gabe Niles, you know.
Gabe Niles, okay.
Yeah. And all the performers are gonna be performing. And yeah. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah. I forgot.
What's good?
How did I get my nickname?
Okay, how'd you get Loplex?
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you get that?
It's all three of my nicknames.
Okay.
Put together. Javi, of course, that's my name. Well, my nickname name. Javier is my name. And Lil is my military nickname. And Plex is my engineering school nickname. And luckily, those together sound like my last name.
So how you get three nicknames in your life? I never even got one. Like, motherfuckers never gave me a nickname, bro.
Yeah.
For real. I always wanted one, too. I really wanted a nickname. I'm like, what could it be? My neighbor used to call me sour cream and onion. She used to call me sour cream and onion. She used to call me salamander.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like your nickname's off-world, man.
People call me that. No, it's funny because actually I'll literally meet people and like, they be like, yo, ain't you off-world? Like, they won't even know my name. They'll just know me as off-world. I'd be like, that's funny. Like, yeah, I am off-world.
It was not to that courtroom incident that I actually fully like.
Oh, so you thought of me as off-world?
Yeah, I thought of you as off-world too.
That's
then.
Funny.
Yeah. Yo, I was not paying to put my phone in a cubby neither. I hid that shit in the bush.
In the court? Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. We came out the courtroom and he was like, bro, I got to get my phone out the bush. I think it was like sprinkling too.
Yeah. Yeah, man, they wanted $5 to put your phone in the cubby, you know?
I'm like, why did you leave it in your car?
Because my car was like way down. Remember, you had to give me a ride, man.
Yeah.
It was way down there, and court was like starting like in 5 minutes. I was like, bush.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Well, look, I appreciate it, bro. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hell yeah. Peace.